What if a prison meant to punish criminals became the perfect cover for murder, and the only man who can stop it is already locked inside? Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. The film begins with a pulse-pounding chase. Detective Louis Burke, a decorated officer, is tracking down a vicious killer known only as the Sandman. Their brutal hand-to-hand fight ends with Burke shooting the psychopath dead, or so he thought. Burke believes it's over, but evil doesn't stay dead for long. At police headquarters, Attorney General Tom Waldman brings in Detective Burke for a special mission. Burke, now with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Quebec, is known for his deep cover skills. He's briefed by Waldman and his team, Ben Keane and Sam Walden, on a string of suspicious inmate deaths at Harrison Penitentiary, one of the most violent prisons in the country. Their plan? Send Burke undercover as an inmate. Since he's based in Quebec, no one at the prison would recognize him, not even the other convicts. Only the top board members know his identity. No backup, no second chances. His only support, Amanda, who poses as his wife during visitations. Burke is to be sentenced for armed robbery as part of the cover. Burke is processed like any other convict. He and the others are lined up, ordered to clasp their hands and not move. Enter Sergeant DeGraff, the ruthless prison officer. He sets the tone immediately. I decide when you eat, when you sleep, when you shower. And if you step out of line, pray I don't come for you. One inmate tries to pick up DeGraff's fallen groundnut. He's struck from behind. A brutal reminder, obey the rules or suffer. Dr. Gottesman, the prison physician, inspects the new arrivals for diseases. They're given serial numbers and assigned cells. Burke walks into his new cell, instantly eyed by other inmates, testing him with cold stares. At the mess hall, things go sideways fast. An inmate attacks another with a knife right behind Burke. Burke turns to intervene, but ends up getting hit in the process. A full-blown brawl erupts before guards restore order. Amanda visits Burke, maintaining their cover as a married couple. Burke asks her to bring him money, though inmates aren't allowed to carry cash. Amanda reports this to Ben Keane, who refuses to authorize it. Amanda warns him, if you won't help, I'll do it myself. Ben threatens her to stay in line and walks out. While Burke is mopping the halls, Bruce, a violent inmate, ambushes him with a chain. Burke fights back and brutally defeats him. It's clear now, this isn't just about fitting in. He's got to survive. Burke befriends Hawkins, a streetwise older inmate with a sharp eye. Burke asks him about Barrett, one of the inmates who recently died. Hawkins tells him to speak to the priest, a gang leader who runs things behind the scenes and hates newcomers. Burke meets the priest and presses him for answers. The priest redirects him to Merson, Barrett's former cellmate, now in solitary but working night shifts in the infirmary, he said. Burke questions Merson about Barrett's death. Merson is cagey. When Burke pushes, Merson shuts down. Burke calls Amanda to update her on the investigation. Later, Hawkins helped Burke sneak into the records room, whilst Hawkins and the guide stand outside. Burke finds Barrett's file, but the noise alerts a guard. Burke hides above, silently watching as a drop of blood falls. Hawkins covers for him, brilliantly placing a cup over the blood before they leave. Burke returns to Merson, offering protection in exchange for information. Shortly after, a hooded figure sneaks into Merson's cell and sets him on fire. Someone is covering their tracks. Amanda visits Burke again. This time, the prison warden harasses her, ordering her to strip. Burke is brought in under the guise of visitation, and the couple shares a romantic moment to maintain their cover. Meanwhile, Burke and Hawkins break into a storage room. What they uncover is chilling. A black market organ trafficking ring operating within the prison, run by corrupt guards, a shady doctor, and backed by high-level officials. Locked in solitary, Burke hears chains dragging outside his door. A familiar voice echoes down the corridor. You should have made sure I was dead, Burke. Burke's face twists in horror. It's the Sandman, alive, transferred to the same prison, by someone pulling strings from above. Now the man Burke thought he killed is back, and he's out for revenge. The Sandman teams up with the corrupt staff to eliminate Burke. He threatens to expose Burke's identity as a cop to the entire prison. Burke flees his cell, inmates and guards in pursuit. He's now a marked man, not just by the killers outside, but by the monster he failed to kill. Want to know how Burke survives? Or if the Sandman gets his revenge? Hit that like, subscribe, and stay tuned for part 2.